So good afternoon all. I know it's very too hard because after a post lunch, it's very difficult to sit in such a discussion. It's okay. And it's already be late for, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. So we can start the session right now. So I'm Anjusha Marar, Cybersecurity Associate, ACPL System Private Limited. And I'm a Cyber Shiksha alumni from the pass out year 2019. And Cyber Shiksha is a skill initiative program for young women by DSCI and Microsoft. And I'm delighted welcoming to all for this session AISS 2023. And the session we have next in Appsec, Cloud Native Appsec and Mobile App, DevSecOps Automation, SBOM with Runtime Intelligence. And it's my pleasure to invite all the fellow panelists as on the dais. We have Rahul Pandey, Mr. Rahul Pandey, Regional Technical Director, HCL Software Limited. Welcome, sir. Then we have Mr. Manish, Founder and CEO, Protlac Private Limited. Welcome, sir. Then we have Mr. Shiv Kumar Pandey, CISO Adani. Welcome, sir. And we have a moderator, Miss Rema Devi Sang, Principal Information Security Officer, Hindustan Singh Limited. Welcome, ma'am. Hello. Then we have Mr. Vandit Sharma, Product Manager, Ramjani Technologies. Welcome, sir. So I am requesting Ms. Rema ma'am to lead the session right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjusha. It's a great opportunity given to us for moderating this session, as well as I warmly welcome all the panelists over here and all the members over here. So today's topic is that about what next in our application security. So as you all know that application security, every organization or every entity are having some sort of applications in this context, right? So we do a lot of OAS top 10 concerns every day and here and there. And we do this threat modeling of our applications, and we even run some of the VAPT scans to identify what are our vulnerabilities existing in the applications and how do we prioritize them and how do we remediate them, all these, right? So all these are normal. So what is that we go for the next in year 2024? So for this, I would like to ask Shiv Kumar sir, to go first. So how do you describe the evolving landscape of application security? And in your opinion, what are the primary areas of heightened concerns for an organization in this challenging environment?
So when you're talking about application DevSecOps or in application security, which you talk about security by design, or you can say the proactive approach which you are looking at, for the same. Traditionally, everything which we are doing on, the post, the development is happen, and there is always delays in finding out the vulnerabilities and even then mitigating those vulnerabilities. Now it's totally different. What we are talking about, totally a proactive approach where we can start, security by design, where we are, involving from complete SDLC life cycle, every stage, which we are doing, the source code review, Appsec test, dynamic, static testing, both. And it's a collaborative approach where, all the stakeholders are involved in the same. And so that we can finding out the vulnerabilities at each and every stage and mitigating them. Second is very important, we are using AI and ML based kind of technologies also in this, where finding out the vulnerabilities and even mitigation those vulnerabilities completely automated, and using like AI and ML based kind of technology on the same. And then continuous monitoring of these things is also become very important. So throughout the development life cycle till up to the end, it's a stage, where we are talking about, finding the vulnerabilities, mitigate them on the SDLC cycle using AI, MLS technology, collaborative approach, behavior-based kind of thing is also come into the picture on the same. So I can say, DevSecOps, you don't have any even option and coming out from these legacy systems and all.
Thank you, Shiv sir. Let's go to Manish. for listening about how organizations should approach mobile application security, given that applications running on many unprotected devices, unknown devices in this world. So how do you bring out this approach?
See, mobile applications today are at the center of any digital transformation. If I talk about some data points, India today already has 750 million smartphone users, 75 crore of them, and more than 2 lakh applications, mobile apps developed locally in India. Okay. Now imagine the kind of digital transformation which organizations are running today. It is all about mobile first. Okay. So everything has moved towards the mobile. But once you start rolling out something which is running on unknown device means customer devices, the security landscape has totally changed. Mr. Pandey was talking about, moving from static to dynamic side of it. So that is where mobile application security has also moving on. Traditional way approach of EAPT and Appsec and code reviews are required, but not sufficient enough, and that is where the concept of runtime security has evolved.
Right.
Okay. So organizations has to make sure that while these apps are running on customer devices, which can be in millions of numbers, the number of customers, so how do we ensure that the app is always secured while it is running on those devices, which are like blind spots for the organization? How your app is being treated? Somebody is trying to tamper with it. Somebody is trying to, do some runtime manipulation or some data fraud or some identity theft. That is what the current requirements are. So mobile application security is like moving towards runtime security, more onto the dynamic in nature, where on the devices itself, the application should be intelligent enough to understand what kind of threats and do a self-protection. We also call it RASP-based runtime security controls. Okay. Now, this also becomes a part of the DevSecOps process while you are developing, ensure that a right set of technology and all those mitigation controls are built in, which can provide full security to the mobile applications running on customer devices. Then you should not have a kind of blind spots into the organization, so telemetrics are very important. Okay. And once you have the right set of threat telemetrics, how apps are being, what kind of threats apps are being encountered, how you are responding to it on the real-time basis, on the runtime basis. This is how the security landscape in today's modern world is moving towards, especially related to mobile applications.
Nicely summarized, nicely told, Manish, about having this mobile first and having this, we have to go for this runtime security. And going forward, I would like to ask Vandit about what do you think about what is the next in application security?
So as we all know how application security works, right? We have, SAST, DAST. And one thing I've noticed, there's a shift towards interactive application security testing, right? I mean, mainly if I talk about application security, I remember there's this gentleman called Jeff Williams, who's also the founder of OWASP. He has a beautiful product called Contrast, which does, interactive application security. I mean, it's also a runtime, if you say. It's a part of AISS, which Contrast has, right? It directly integrates into the development lifecycle, and as the developer is writing the code, it actually finds out the vulnerability in real time. So that's one shift which I've noticed so far. I mean, if you talk about what I feel personally is next in Appsec, I mean, it's just a wild thought, and maybe I'm just thinking out loud, right? So there should be a tool which ingests all this SaaS, DAST, and all those technologies, and maybe find a correlation between all those information, right? And maybe we can get some useful information out of it. And I may be wrong, but my tech team would be able to validate it better. And it's just a wild thought again. But I'm sure there is some information we can use out of it, right? The second thing I feel is important is API security, right? So now, so right from the early 2000s, right? So we have seen a lot of increase in cloud native applications, right? The level of complexity is increasing, the size of the applications are increasing, and so as the applications grow, and now in the modern day applications, there's a microservice level architecture, right? Everything is through APIs, may it be REST, SOAP, everything. So I feel, even I remember there was a Twitter breach, right?
Yes.
We all know about it, right? So it was due to excessive data exposure in the APIs, right? So we understand how critical it is to secure your APIs. If you dig a little deeper into why that happens, is when the application is being developed, it's not that's the right moment where the developer should know that the vulnerability exists in the API. So we were in GITEX this year in January, not January, last year in October. And being a product guy, I was interacting with a lot of CEOs of the several organizations. And one thing I heard in common was, they've been asking their development team, do you know how many APIs your application is consuming? And they're like, we don't know. So how can we protect something which we don't even see and don't even have a visibility of, right? And the second thing is, we, as modern day applications, we consume a lot of third-party APIs as well, right? So there should be a segregation of the APIs that we're consuming as a third party, versus with the APIs that are consumed within the application that are native to the application. Because I don't want to test third-party applications, third-party APIs, right? I don't have a consent to test them. So yes, SBOM is important. We always talk about SBOM in applications, the component, composition of the components we have. But it's equally important to have a SBOM of APIs as well. So that's my take on what's next in application security.
Thanks, Vandit. You have nicely talked about all the tools which are about to come for this SAST and DAST testings, and covered about API security as well. So I will move on to Rahul sir for just tell us about something more, and what is your perspective of on the impact of AI systems, because nowadays a lot of we are hearing this buzzword of AI, right? So what is the role of or impact of AI in application security?
I mean, that's pretty interesting, right? I mean, AI everywhere, right? And as Pani sir said, right, the next big thing that we would see even in application security would be the use or abuse of the AI, right? So that I look at it from the three aspects, right? One, AI being used by the developer community either for faster remediation or ensuring, okay, what needs to be fixed on priority, right? That's where all correlation and everything comes. That's where I get a confidence as a developer, okay, it's been vetted by 2 or more technologies. That's what correlation is. And that's where I have a confidence. So I'm not spending fixing everything. Rather, I'm spending time what matters most to the organizations, right? So that's where I see the AI will play a very important role, and ensuring that whatever the code, again from the developer's aspect, again how we are using the generative AI to produce code and ensuring that they are actually it's right, it's secure, and it has an integrity, right? From the product side, I mean, we have already seen a lot of products already using AI in some or the other way, whether it is providing faster remediation or I would say using it to help the Appsec practitioners. But I would like to see where we have a platform, AI platform, where the organization themselves can, add to the AI engine and make sure that, okay, these are my test scenarios, okay, or these are my, maybe other threat things that I want to include in my testing. So that coming into AI tools, I think the OEM should look at, bringing one platform together, or maybe a community where everybody can contribute. And as an Appsec practitioner, it benefits all in a much better way.
Thank you, Rahul sir, for giving us more insights on AI-related security tips. And we have also have this cloud-native application security, right? So what do you think of what is this cloud native? So is this the same like how we migrate over the cloud? just simply lifting that application and putting onto the cloud is not that cloud native. Okay, so cloud native is that something that it's a software approach wherein we are building or deploying and managing the applications which are moved onto the cloud. And as a lot of the organizations now are, or the companies which are looking forward to have their flexibility, the scalability, and also that's how they want this quick updates to happen on any of their applications on the cloud, right? So this is where this cloud native approach will be very helpful, and the benefits which you can reap out of these cloud native apps are definitely like improved efficiency, where you get a lot of faster continuous delivery will be there, and easy for accessing, or agile practices we can adopt very easily on the cloud. So this will improve our efficiency. At the same time, we even have this reduced cost. As you know that in a physical environment or physical, if you have to deploy, so we need to have one server and all the maintenance of those servers, like patchings and all this, right? So over the cloud, yes, this will definitely reduce the cost of this maintaining these applications, and this will also ensure the availability of the applications. As you all know that the cloud nowadays are coming up with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 patterns, right? So data centers of all these qualities, so which are giving us 99.995% of availability. So this is very important, and this is an advantage which we can take by having this cloud native approach of these applications. So this is what I would like to speak on cloud native. And going forward, Shiv sir, yes, I would like to know your views on how do you see mobile security landscape and the role of runtime security for protection of mobile applications.
See, mobile threat landscapes are very dynamic. It's keep on changing, and plus, you know, the dependency on the mobile is also becoming more and more. Like first we moved from desktop to laptop, now laptop to mobile. Now everything is coming on the mobile. And that's why, you know, mobile security has become very, very important, and runtime mobile application make, you know, very important role in the same. And here also what we are talking about very important thing is a real-time monitoring. One, we are talking about a real-time monitoring, and that too also behavior-based monitoring also. Right. So the continuously monitoring approach with the real-time threat, you know, threat intel feed and monitoring, you know, your end user mobiles, which is connected to your corporate network. So you're finding out, like, you know, what are the, you know, the root-based access devices, whether the mobile applications are, all the end user mobile are, the rogue mobiles or not. So that you have a complete visibility on those, your the mobile devices or mobile application, which is end user mobile users, which is connected to your corporate network. So once you have a complete visibility, then you can safeguard, you know, at least the corporate or enterprise application also, according to, you know, by using these kind of applications. So this is purely using AL and ML based also, real-time monitoring also, behavior-based monitoring also, and which can definitely safeguard, you know, to your organizational cybersecurity postures.
Thank you, Shiv sir, for this real-time monitoring and AI/ML based monitoring, and user behavioral monitoring is also very important in nowadays mobile security. So nowadays, I think so all of us are having the whole world in our hand, right? So this is very, very important for protecting everyone. So let me move on to the Manish for having this. What are the top threats originate from mobile apps running on the customer devices?
Okay. Great. I will pick up the thread from Mr. Shivkumar Pandey, what he just mentioned. But before, you know, jumping to that thread, there is a joke which goes that somebody asked me, what exactly you do in the morning as soon as you wake up? Okay. Somebody said, I will brush my teeth. Somebody else said, I will stretch myself. Okay. But once we do the poll, so the maximum answer was pick up
Check the
phone and check WhatsApp or some other messaging apps. Right? That's how we
That
are
is very
glued
true.
to the smartphones now. Okay. I remember I stepped out of house. I went 5 kilometers. Then I realized that I do not have my phone. So I had to actually come back because I would have not spent a day without a phone. That's how the smartphone has made, and once we talk about digital, everything is around mobile, right? But this has opened up a complete new threats for the organizations, especially if we talk about BFSI sector, government to citizen. A lot of services are being delivered on the mobile, right? Today we do all mobile banking, we do all insurance premium payment, shopping, government to citizen services, everything we are doing online. But the kind of threats which started originating once these apps are running on consumer device means I can be a consumer of a mobile banking app or a government app, right? So these are millions of endpoints where your app is running from organization's perspective. So the kind of threats is like unsecured devices. If I talk about India, India is primarily Android market, 97% Android, and Android being an open source technology itself is full of many threats, malwares. And these threats, like if it is from device, rooted device, jailbroken devices, unsecured setting on the devices, even the network through which this device is connected, right? There is a proxy network, there's unsecured Wi-Fi, so many MITM happening on those networks. People are not generally aware of it as a layman and sometimes consumers. So these devices, this network, and somebody trying to tamper with applications, some cyber hackers or some, for malicious intent, try to break these apps running on the consumer device. In fact, there are a lot of malwares which we have seen into the, while we do this threat research. And these malwares are like trying to, do keystrokes reading while you are inserting some PIN or user ID password. They will capture user ID password. Then these malwares will record a screen, capture the data, build a detailed, database, then start doing phishing, and certain itself keep on issuing a lot of guidelines around these malwares, targeting especially, financial applications or government apps. So the threat model is a lot evolved in terms of, threats originating from devices or network or some malwares targeting the mobile applications. Okay. So that is how it is evolving. So we talked about, moving from a static to dynamic, and then dynamic also should contain runtime security. So if we need to prevent such kind of threats while your apps are running on, millions of consumers' devices, we technically call it millions of endpoints, which is connected back to your network, as you mentioned. So this is bringing many risks, and a runtime security is the need. Okay. So runtime security involves once your app is running on an unknown device, on a consumer device, okay, it should not be acting like a blind spot. You should know what is happening to my app at that point of time. Okay. And you should have a complete telemetrics of what kind of threats your apps has been facing, what is the action being taken, how you are getting protected, and a complete telemetrics or a data dashboard should be available, which modern day organizations are also integrating with their SOC, okay, for a complete clear visibility. So that's how while we keep on rolling out multiple mobile applications, so the security landscape, the threat landscape has totally changed, bringing different type of risk back to the companies, organizations, and that is where the concept has moved from static to dynamic to runtime security.
Yeah, and you have nicely told that the mobile is the first thing what every one of us checks while getting up in the morning, right? So, and I remember one thing when you are saying that jailbreaking devices, right? So everybody, I guess, all the security officers do have this constraint in the policy also. They have added no mobile device will be used for any official purposes if it is a broken device. So this is we have to follow these all security things, right? So going forward to Rahul sir, I would like to know that why do you think software bill of materials, SBOMs, is necessarily becoming a focal point of concern within organizations? And what factors contribute to the growing importance of SBOMs in today's landscape?
A I'll take a step back, ma'am, to answer your question. So if I look at the application security maturity pyramid, right, I mean, hypothetically, if you imagine it, I mean, we've seen we are at the level, I mean, customers have, traveled the journey of automating the traditional practices like dynamic, static, and everything. I mean, tools and processes already are in place. Now, if we have to move up the pyramid from, okay, what next? Have we done the automation perspective from the tooling aspect? Is that the complete automation in Appsec, or is there something more, or to cover? So what we see next is we have seen, the most of the organizations onboarding this journey of the CI/CD or the pipeline integration, and obviously, what we see next is, okay, I am getting the results. I'm getting lots and lots of vulnerability issues or whatever you say, right? And everybody is busy spending time in resolving those, right? But the next will be, how do we faster, as Shiv sir said, quickly remediate, right? Because time to remediation is a key aspect in entire DevOps, DevSecOps, right? So, as I said earlier, we should focus on what matters to me as an organization most, rather than solving everything and resolving all the issues. I don't think that makes sense. And in that journey, software bill of material, as we say, right? I mean, we have so many names, software bill of material. So we acquire a lot of third-party components. We acquire a lot of tools, right? And that they become all part of our, soft application development or software delivery platform, right? So whether it's a CI/CD tools, right? I should ensure that, whatever whatever build I'm deploying is secure, yes, obviously, and I need to make sure that, okay, it does have an integrity, right? Somebody should not be able to modify after, you have a build deployed, right? So how do you check for that integrity? So it's pretty important that, we have the bill of material for each and every, component that we're using in the entire software development, whether it is the acquired libraries, whether it's the, but these libraries could be external or it could be internal. I'm reusing, some model or some particular libraries again, but that time it was safe. Does it mean that, these components are still safe? No, because we see almost, every 2 weeks, that you have a new CV or some component being, there is a breach happening, right? And if you think from the hacker's perspective, it's pretty, I would say, lucrative thing, because to target one component and they can profile, okay, let's say for, this is an automotive or this is a healthcare, right? And I know, okay, these are the components widely used in this particular industry, right? So I may spend some time and, trying to exploit that particular component and waiting for that, somebody adopts it. So from hacker's perspective, this my reach and spread is like multifold, because I'm not only, reaching out to you as a customer, but your customers as well, which are using your products. And that's why it's become very important in the C-level board, room as well, that, okay, make sure that, we have a compliance from, software bill of material, whether it is a licensing compliance as well, or it's the security of the, the third-party components that we are using. Right.
Thank you, Rahul sir. Yeah, the same thing.
Actually,
I would like to add on.
Yeah, I would like to add something. As Rahul said that it's important to know what changed in the application, right? In terms of APIs, I mean, if you see one day in, let's say, in the development environment, right, a particular API was discovered for the first time, right? And later on, while testing that API, it was found that, this kind of vulnerability exists in that API. And in the next phase of testing, that vulnerability was patched. And later on, you realize that as the increments happen, right, the incremental releases happen, another vulnerability or the same vulnerability reappeared in the production environment, right? So it's important to track what changed. Like, so, my point being, it's very important to know the API life cycle, right? The moment it was created till the moment it went into the production. So it's important. Second thing I would like to mention is, it's not just API or it's not just application security that we need to focus on. It's to train the people to, actually write better code, or maybe patch vulnerabilities faster, as Rahul said, right? So it's important that we put them into such simulations, or maybe some kind of training modules, so that they are trained to patch vulnerabilities faster, I say. So some sort of cyber range or something, maybe they can train themselves on all this stuff on. So that's also a support to application security.
Yeah, you have rightly said, Vandit, that training for this application developers are very, very important, and they have to know how to how to develop a secured application. So nowadays, without this, there are many, many vulnerabilities which exist in an application without following the secure DevSecOps. So I would like to open the forum for any questions. As the time is running, we just have half a minute.
So my question to the panel is regarding SBOM. So SBOM is very important concept. Okay. Is there any way out to find out what libraries or what components or what the stuff which is not under the control? Okay. Is there any way out to find out, or in an automated fashion, or some way? Because see, as a SBOM concept, it is roaming across the industry and many cyber folks are talking about it. But when we actually have to implement it, what is the way out to implement it in an automated fashion so that we have full control over SBOM?
Yeah, I mean, see, we have seen from the OEM's perspective that we have tools coming up, which can automate the one is discovering, having an inventory of entire bill of materials. So what components I'm using, whether it's a third-party libraries, tools, what versions is safe or not, right? Even the CI/CD pipeline, you can call it as a PBOM, pipeline bill of material. Because you really need to understand, are they secure using the secure version, right? So there are tools, I think, available already which can do automatic discovery of entire bill of materials. So from governance aspect, okay, in my organizations, these are approved list of, components that needs to be used, and anybody violating that, I mean, obviously we have, checks, whether it's a runtime also, or the static at the code level also, that can detect, okay, you used an outdated component, right, which should not have been used. So obviously, there are tools, and also they give us, entire application security posture management as well, right? Because there, okay, where the risk is, right? So you can measure the risk and then take a proactive approach. Okay, this is, what we should be doing first as the priority.
Any other question?
Yes, I have one quick question. So as we see, like Gen AI is rapidly evolving, right? So definitely some of the other way, all our existing application is going to incorporate Gen AI models into it, right? So sooner or later. So how do you see the changes in the secure SDLC lifecycle, right? To incorporate the model security, or to make sure the LLMs that are being used by these existing applications are secure?
Anybody take it? Yeah, take it up.
See, again, it's a pretty, I would say, interesting question, because the way we are seeing the AI generating models, okay, and how these tools will actually, help us in making sure that, okay, these models are secure, right? So I think that's a journey most of the, I would say, OEMs are going forward, right? Because I said earlier, I mean, we are using AI, I mean, tools are using AI in some manner or the other manner, whether it is, giving you the remediation. But here the question is, okay, how do I check my models, okay, whether they're secure enough or not? I think we are on board on this journey to ensure that, okay, the AI models generated are actually secure enough, because that they expose a different threat landscape altogether, right?
I will take a little different approach, because there are advantages of, if I talk about OpenAI and all. See, hackers have also started using it for some, malicious purposes. We have tested it. I mean, being an OEM company, we do a lot of tests around how, if I am asking how to, hack into some systems, how this OpenAI is responding. Okay, not exactly the word hacks and all, but for some malicious purpose. And there's a lot of information which a class 10th student can get out of it. Okay, today you have YouTube channels and all those open AIs and all those, many things available as a video, as information, so easily available to college students, school students, and we have tested this hypothesis, how we can go and, do some kind of modification into existing applications. So the modern day apps now, I've talked from the security perspective, has to ensure that those LLM models, if you are talking about, okay, those behavioral based approach are already built in as a part of the security. Okay. So there is a gap certainly between how the generative AI has grown and the kind of solutions right now available into the market. But that risk has to be quantified, and this organizational responsibility, how we go and what kind of access and what kind of risk which we are living into, how we scale up this security capabilities. Products are also evolving. It is certainly going to take some time. But AI and behavioral analysis is the next step where a lot of products has to do continuous innovation actually into the sector.
Just to add to it, actually, if you talk about AI, right? If I ask you if AI can detect vulnerabilities, what would you say? It should be able to, right? But the script kiddies, right, as you mentioned, right, the people who don't have the knowledge to actually exploit are using the same models to write exploits to, get into the systems which are AI generated. Right, so as Rahul mentioned, it's a journey that we'll have to see and walk together to understand how how to safeguard those models actually, because both sides are the same. It's the purpose what you use it for.
Yeah.
But using a generating AI inside, especially for DevSecOps, is more dangerous compared to inside the organization where data theft and the way your behavior using those codes, those techniques going outside, using the same username and passwords. That's why now people are not using it. If you talk about, as he said, you're already using static and dynamic testing, those kinds of AL and ML based, which is more in depth for these kind of work or these kind of finding out the vulnerabilities, which is more in depth. So, and the requirement is to make it complete automation. Example, you integrate with the vulnerabilities, finding out, you integrate with the dynamic testing, you integrate with the patch management, you integrate with the PIM. So all processes become automation. Finding out vulnerabilities, immediately you find out the patch, immediately you integrate. So your process become very faster and faster. That is a requirement. So, but if you start interacting your organization data, which is a structured data, and unstructured thing which is outside, it is even more dangerous.
Yeah, in proximity of time, I would like to take
one more question.
One more question, yes. I think that person has asked already. Yeah.
Somebody from the back actually.
Anybody? Yeah.
Then you
I think we can take both of your questions. Come. Please go ahead. Yeah.
See, even now we come across many organizations who say that I have told my developers to build in adequate security in my mobile app. Okay. Then there are others who say that my developers, app developers, let them concentrate on functionalities, features, and UX, and let the security part be plugged in separately. So I want to know the panel's opinion. A is better or the B?
Yeah.
If I can take that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ask you this question, like, if you were in that position, what would you choose?
I'll choose B, but still there are many organizations who are A.
So I would say it's your appetite to take risk, right? Every organization has a different appetite to take risks. Some organizations can't afford to have a single vulnerability exploited in their systems. So at a feature level, yes, features are important for the business to grow. But, if I have the appetite to, I would say if I can afford to have such vulnerabilities exploited and still have my business up and running, I would choose A. But as you said, you would choose B, right? So I think your appetite is much higher than that, right?
The concept is like whether you develop it in-house or if there are solutions available into the market, you go and do a plug and play. Right? Today, if we think from organization's perspective again, I mean, if some are banking or insurance, so their core business is different. Why to do this development in-house? as well as you get the responsibility of, keep on enhancing it. Okay, so if solutions are available, certainly we should go integrate such solutions into mobile application. It applies to all kind of technologies actually. Yeah, so that's where.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can take the last question.
Hello. So my question is from the panel. We keep on talking about the security at the software level, but how important is it important to take the security at a hardware level as well? Like people keep using the phones in the offices and the organization, so there are a lot of chances that their voice can be tapped or the camera may be on. So many data leaks have happened before due to this factor. So how important is it to take the hardware security as much as we take the software security?
No, hardware security is also very, very important. Today, if you talk about any organization, they keep on doing hardenings, fingerprinting of the devices. Only, the organization-owned devices and fingerprinting devices only can connect to the organizational network, and their complete visibility is there, and all the security controls are deployed in that. You are coming with your own devices, which is like in BOID concept, if that to also allow, that is in a restricted manners, or maybe something called, the safe zone kind of stuff. So those things are there. I mean, it's not allowed freely, you can access any corporate, or any organization network. No way.
Yeah, definitely that hardware devices needs to be addressed, that security like TPM concepts, like in what we have in the laptops and all, right? So such security features we can adopt in this devices. At the same time, yes, I do agree that the common people who use their mobile phones, so should ensure that even your family members also to tell them that that antivirus or like any protection should be given to that device. So definitely, yes, the hardware security protection is very, very important. So thank you so much for giving us opportunity. Thanks panelists, and thanks for the audience also to patiently listen to us. Thank you, DSI.
Yeah, thank you once again. Thank you so much. And there is a small token of gratitude from our side. So.